Hi, this is going to be maybe an annoyingly serious broadcast today, and my apologies. Actually, no, not my apologies. I'm tired of apologizing for things. Um, I uh, I want to talk about the dark side of weight loss, which is something that I've sort of briefly maybe touched on before, but I feel like it's at the point where I have to discuss it, if for no other reason than for my own mental health. Um, First of all, happy Thanksgiving holidays if you celebrate that. Um, I'm about to start cooking and I'm actually dry fasting tomorrow. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm making a keto pecan pie as well. So we'll also see how that goes. I'm sure I'll post pictures of it somewhere. All right, so back to the matter at hand. I've had so many moments lately where I think, maybe it would be better for my mental health, for my physical health, and for my soul. I don't know what you call it. If I went back to being invisible to men, because I really have come to a point where I find myself disgusted with men in general. And I know that's really not fair. Um, but it seems that in the past 2.5 years, since I suddenly became visible to men, because you got to understand, this was not a change like, oh, she went from being chubby to pretty cute or whatever. This was a really dramatic metamorphosis where I went from being, you know, absolutely freakishly almost obese, like 5'7", 280 pounds. At that point, you are pretty much invisible to men. You aren't out in public being desired. I went from that to being quite visible and being the object of what they call the male gaze in public and on the internet. And getting off of the internet did help some, but and I had to do that because it was an act of self-protection from a sort of, and I can say this now because I have like a few months distance of being active on social media, but it was an act of self-protection from what I can only describe as like the aggression of desire and people feeling like because your images are on the internet, I'm not talking about anything remotely pornographic, I'm talking about like your face, that they have some kind of right to you, to your attention, to your time, and to say whatever they want and send you whatever they want and show you whatever they want and get away with it. So that's one aspect. There's also the aspect of realizing, really, for the first time, how profoundly deceitful um, men are when they desire you. And I know that many of you are watching this and going, duh, but I never really realized um, how very clever and manipulative men can be because, women kind of get all of the flack for that, right? Like we're the deceitful ones, we're the manipulative ones, right? Because we don't have the physical strength, so we use charm to get our way. Well, last time I checked, men typically aren't clubbing you and dragging you back to the cave. What are they doing? Well, they're lying their asses off. And I wasn't prepared for that. When someone appeared and acted and sometimes even stated that they were something, wanted something, whatever, I just believed them. And not only are you not only are you being lied to, but you're also being gaslighted because then they're like, then there's this sort of societal expectation that you were supposed to get that beforehand. Like, well, you know we lie, right? Like, well, I mean, I do now. And then there's also the aggression of desire from people who are supposed to be safe. And it's become, and then there's the plain old aggression part. Then there's the actual physical assault that can happen. And I guess I've just gotten to a point where it seems like 90% of the men I've ever interacted with have physically hurt me or deceived me profoundly or betrayed me profoundly or left or died or something bad. So, um, that's probably Alondra. I feel like that comment reeks of Alondra, but I can't see names. Um, I'm just right now. I would say I'm convalescent, but I'm not even really there yet. Um, I don't really. I try. So first of all, if I seem like a mess, I have my moments. I feel like I just got finished watching this really fascinating documentary called The Deep End. It's on Hulu, and I highly recommend it. And I don't want to tell you anything about it. I just want you to have the experience of watching it. But I feel like the more enlightened and um, the more someone pretends to have it all together, the more full of shit they are. Like, you can trust me because I'm honest with you about my bullshit. Okay, bad things have happened to me recently, um, and I'm working it out. I have good days and bad days, and honestly, there's ongoing things that I'm dealing with, and there's probably some PTSD. I briefly tried to be on a psychiatric drug for about, I guess, 2 months, because I just felt like I felt like the crisis was acute at a certain point, and I had to be on something. Like I needed help, frankly, because I'm doing life. I work and I have a child, and I'm I function. And in order to continue to function, I needed help. And so um, I I got on a psych drug, and I just did not like the side effects. Um, that it made me anxious. It gave me anxiety. So I got off of it, and now I'm just using, like food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And I'm using an herbal adaptogen. I'm using ashwagandha right now, to just kind of mellow me out, and it does help. I've also really stepped up my game on supplements because I have had historically had a B12 deficiency. It's obviously not from my diet. I got it when I was carnivore, actually. It's a it's an absorption issue for me, and it's hereditary. So, B12, ashwagandha, and what else? The regular things that I was already taking, magnesium, D3, stuff like that. And so I'm doing that. I'm in therapy with a Jungian analyst, and I really like her. And she's helping me. I actually asked her. I said to her yesterday, I was like, it could be that I just have like a normal amount of negative encounters with men, and I'm overreacting to it. And she was like, "It's not. This is not a normal amount." Um, So I don't hate men. I'm not gonna go the like rad femme route, I'm not gonna like burn my bra, and well, I mean, I hate bras anyway. but I'm not gonna, shave my head and become a lesbian or anything like that because honestly, I have a few my 2 best female friends that I've probably ever had well, I wanna say best I've ever had, but my 2 probably 2 of my closest female relationships, I was very profoundly betrayed by those people too. And I know it's starting to sound like, "Oh, some of this has to be your fault," but these 2 in particular, like, they really totally 100% backstabbed me. And I'm not a revenge person. I don't really believe in revenge, really unless you mess with someone that I love. Like, if you were to do mess with my daughter or my relationship with my daughter, if you were to mess with someone in my family, then at that point, then I will go absolutely 100% scorched earth, and you will regret the day that you ever met me. But I think maybe I don't value myself enough to seek revenge. There is a court case pending right now, and I may end up seeking some kind of justice through the media because I don't think I'm going to get it elsewhere. However, that's a whole other thing that I don't really want to speak about publicly. My point is just that I'm not a vengeful person and I don't feel a lot of like, I'm not sitting here feeling a lot of anger. I just feel very disillusioned, alone. Um, like I want to wear a shroud every day. My therapist actually noticed that. She was like, "You're really, really like wearing a lot of loose, baggy layers the past couple of times I've seen you." And I'm like, "Yeah, it feels safer." I have moments where I'm like, in a way, my life was easier when I was invisible to men and when could just like disappear in public or online, and none of this mattered. But what I want to end with is I still think that you should lose weight. I still think that you should get healthy. But I think that you should learn from my mistakes and really aggressively, well, not aggressively, proactively defend yourself. Like, not defend, protect. Proactively protect yourself. Women, if you find yourself at the end of your weight loss journey, if you look in the mirror and you're like, fuck, I'm attractive, be careful. Don't let it your first instinct is going to be propelled out in the world, and you may not have a hoe bone in your body, but you are going to find yourself the object of so much attention and desire, and it's going to really mess you up if you let it. If you have been fat all your life and you don't know what it's like to feel that kind of attention, you got to be even more careful. If you're 40 years old and you already went through your 20s being hot and you just now gained weight, it'll probably be easier for you to deal with. To be like, yeah, I remember this. But if you were always fat and this is going to be your first time being thin, be careful. You have no idea what's coming for you. It is, not it is, it can be predatory, and you have to protect yourself. Don't meet anyone from online that you don't know. Don't go anywhere without telling somebody where you're going to be. Don't drink with people that you don't know. Don't let them drink. Maybe even more important. Um, just, you may think you're immune or protected because you're of a certain age. You may think you're immune or protected because you're smart. Nobody's safe. Um, I want you to get healthy. I want you to not spend the rest of your life being fat. I want you to experience the joy of looking in the mirror and liking what you see. But I want you to go into that place understanding that there is a dark side and being careful and protective of yourself. And this may sound dramatic, but I assure you there is danger to your body, to your heart, your mind, your soul. Just be very careful. And that goes for even those of you who are married and think, well, I'm not going to be interacting with men. They'll find you. They'll find you online. I'm not recommending that you like cloister yourself. I'm not recommending that you wear a black polyester shroud. I'm just recommending that you um, be vigilant and suspicious, because you might think, oh my gosh, this person is absolutely harmless. We have so many mutual friends, and they seem like a really cool, chill person who would never hurt me in a million years. You could be wrong. You could be wrong. Just watch yourself. Don't get yourself into any situations. And remember that it's fucking okay to be attractive. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe them a response to their DM. You don't owe them photos. You don't owe them your time. If somebody wants to date you and they're like, send me, I don't know why this is a thing now, send me 12 pics before, you know, um, we meet. This is just one thing that I remember. Like, but there's so many little things where it's like people think that because you are remotely good looking and post a photo of yourself on the internet, you become property to them. And you're not. And you owe no one anything. And you owe no one your trust. Be suspicious. Be a dick. And be safe. Be rude. When I look back at the last 2.5 years, I just can't believe the level of naivete that I had and that I wish that I'd never had. Um, that's all I have to say today. I'm sorry that today's broadcast was a bit of a downer right here in time for the holidays, but I know that tonight is like the biggest party night of the year for some reason. So maybe one of you will watch this and be a little safer than you would have been. I'm staying home, as I so often do. Um, and we're going into the holidays. There's a lot of festivity. There's a lot of letting your guard down. I truly believe that if you're watching this video, you came to me for a reason and it was your destiny. I really believe in this bullshit. Like in a certain way, it was meant to be that you saw this. So, um, take it to heart and um, own who you are. Don't feel like you can't be beautiful. Don't feel like you can't be desirable and that it's not okay for you to be safe. What is that show Yellowstone? It's kind of like some boomer shit a lot of the time, but I do like Beth because she's just like she's fun to watch, right? Um, and she says something in one of those in an episode the other night, and I was only like walking through the room, so I don't remember I don't know the context, but she was said something like men want to fuck me, and I can either be a victim of it or I can use it to my advantage. And it's very clear um, what she chose, the path that she chose. I don't know who. It only says Facebook user. I can't see your name. I went on break at work to watch you live. To watch your live. I love you. Oh my God, I love you too. Um, thank you. Screw work. Um, so I don't have a problem with that because let me tell you something. If you let them, they'll use you first. They'll use you first. So, I have a mission. I do. I have a mission. I'm going to grow this thing. I mean, watch me. I'm working behind the scenes right now. Um, Alondra, duh. Of course it's Alondra. Um, I have a mission. I am going to empower the people of this planet to not be victims of big food and big pharma. I'm going to help you conquer obesity and related disorders. I'm not going to say I have all the answers. I have a lot of them. I have a lot of them. And I'm going to share them. I'm going to spread them around. And nothing's going to stop me. Don't put yourself in a position where some asshole is going to stop you, is going to slow your roll, is going to violate your true will, is going to get in the way of your path. You have a destiny. You came here. That's why. Your destiny is not to be fat and sick and dead, but your destiny is also not to be preyed upon because you got skinny and hot. Fuck that. You're nobody's property. No one has a right to you. The whole point of this channel, the whole point of this company is you get to learn from my mistakes. If I keep one of you from doing the dumb shit that I've done, I will sleep better tonight. Okay, I'm gonna go make dressing and gravy that I can't eat. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you who celebrate. Happy regular ass Wednesday to those of you who don't. See you guys next week.